What are the Dagda's symbols? Well, Dagda Yi Bogus Fáilte. Hi, hello, and welcome. It is Jon O'Sullivan from the Irish Pagan School. And eh, it's a tricky one to answer because there's no set specific symbology when it comes to Irish expressions of paganism. There's a lot of stuff that we can use as symbols in our practices, but we need to be cautious when we approach these things because there's no, this is a singular defined image that you have to use in any way, shape, or form. So I suppose neat answer, not hard to say. We will dive in and explore some things that one can consider symbols of the Dagda. And the best thing to really do is to think about what the symbol is for when we are talking about this multifaceted expression of deity, because the Dagda is not just a god of this or a god of that. He is literally the good god of the Druidry, as called by the rest of the gods of the Tuatha Dé Danann, because he's capable of fucking everything. It's possible for him to do absolutely anything and everything, and they look to him time and again to solve things that they can't deal with themselves or to step in and support efforts that need to be taken care of for a tribe. So when we look at this, we got to take that in mind when we're exploring what we're going to use these symbols for or how these symbols are going to represent different aspects of the Dagda. So the first thing I would always encourage people to do is to consider the tools that the Dagda uses in the stories, and most famously is the harp. So the Dagda is said to have this harp, which is known as Dor Da Blah, or the Oak of Two Meadows. It's also known as Ker Cahir Kur, or the Four-Angled Music. The reason why the harp is a symbol of the Dagda is because he uses it to turn the seasons. So this is a symbol of natural order and his connection to the natural world, and in a way, his authority over that natural cycle. It's also a key to emotional intelligence. We see him in a story use it to move a raiding party of Fomorians through various emotions, through joy and through sorrow, and then into rest, known as the three strains of music: the Yantre, joyful strain; Goltre, wailing strain; and the Suntre, or the sleeping strain. So a harp is a symbol or something you can use to symbolize aspects of your relationship or connection with the Dagda. The next one, of course, is the club. And a club is a power that he took up in order to serve and to support his community, his tribe, the Tuatha Dé Danann, and it is the power over life and death. So when we're looking at it, one end would take life and the other end would restore life. It said it had a rough end for taking life and a gentle end for restoring life. So it is this power over life and death, yes. But when we look at it as what it really means, when he takes up that power, he swears an oath to bind his use of that power to just and correct causes, and so the symbol of the club is less about power over life and death. Sure, it is, but it's also about power and responsible use of power. And so the symbolism of the club is this duality and what exists within power and the responsible use of power. So with great club comes great power, but also great responsibility. The cauldron, then, of course, is the very famous next one of the four treasures of the Tuatha Dé Danann, brought from Eurus, and it was said that no company would go from it unsatisfied. So when we're using the club as a symbol of the Dagda, it is thoughts of hospitality, his aspect as a welcoming deity who takes care of their tribe. It is about, making sure no one goes without comfort, no one goes without food. But when we take it to the next stage, it's a symbol of community because people come to that cauldron. It's no company goes from it. So that means companies come to the cauldron. It sits in the hearth and in that central space within community and within home, but also then knows what is satisfaction. Is satisfaction always just a full belly? So it might actually be sharing in those community spaces around a fire, around a cauldron, that connection that you get with others. So again, this cauldron, big symbol that one can use for that aspect of the Dagda. But if you wanted to go broader, you could consider what else the Dagda says about himself. He says he is and has authority over sun and moon and land and sea. So any imagery that associates with sun, moon, land, sea in this world, or indeed in the other world, could also be used as symbolism that connects or allows us to consider our connection to the Dagda through his varied aspects. So other names to look at is Allahar, of course, which is great or ample father. So any symbols about home, anything that resonates for you as home environment or family and connection could be used as symbolism for the Dagda in that aspect, if you're building that relationship with that way. Also he's known as Rua Rofasa, which is the red one of great knowledge, or the fiery one of great knowledge. And so again, we have the fire aspect, or any kind of fire which enlightens or brightens could also be symbolism that one would associate with the Dagda. So, as I said, there's no like if oh yeah, sorry, let's not forget Newgrange. Newgrange is associated with him because he makes sure that that space goes to his son Angus. Newgrange has multiple Neolithic artworks carved on it, but very famously has the Triskelion, which is the triple spiral. And no, though we don't have official direct sources for what it means. Many people take it as meaning the journey or the aspects of life and rebirth. And given that it is situated in the back of the Newgrange Passage tomb for when the sun on the winter solstice would shine through the gap and illuminate that back. But there is also a very large Triskelion on Curbstone 1, which sits outside. So there's a lot that we can consider when it comes to that imagery, and it can be associated and linked with the Dagda again through the aspects of life and death. But it is something to be aware of and to consider as part of a greater connection and a greater work with your relationship with the Dagda. So hopefully that has been interesting. Hopefully it provided some kind of answer to that question. Um, but even thoughts of ancestry and connection with your lineage. He is a god of Ireland, and the places of Ireland, anything that connect you with or as a symbol of Ireland and Irish connection and associations with our island could also be associations with the Dagda, depending on what way you're exploring that relationship. So, apologies for the interruptions, and thank you very much for joining us for this video. I do wish you all of the very best. As ever, check out our free resources available at irishpagan.school/free. And if you have any questions, shoot them down into the comments. We'll always try and assist answering them wherever possible. Take care. Until next time, Slán. Goodbye.